Hey everybody, welcome to DadsDen of Pop Culture and Mighty Thor Monday, a year-long retrospective of Walt Simonson's run on the Mighty Thor in the 1980s. We're up to Thor number 344 from June of 1984. Still only 60 cents. 75 is coming soon. It's one of the ways I know a book is from before I started collecting, because when I started in, 75 cents was the price. We got a whole bunch of warriors gathered around Balder. Once Balder the Brave. Is he brave any longer? He's definitely a little bit chunkier than he used to be. Since his death and his return from death. If you remember from last issue, oh, by the way, art and story, Walter Simonson, lettering, John Workman Jr., colors, Christy Scheel, editing, Mark Grunwald, editor-in-chief, Jim Shooter. If you will remember from last time, we ended with Balder staying at the castle of Karnilla, the queen of the Norns. And a wolf has now appeared at the castle. And the portcullis raises, even though the guards did not raise it. They don't know what's going on. By the way, if you want to look, these are the people that Karnilla rules. They have a sort of weird skeletal look. There's a lot behind why that is from older Thor issues. But the wolf goes right in, and that's because the wolf is a messenger from Odin, and it has come to tell Balder that he is summoned to Asgard. And in Asgard, Odin sits upon his throne, and he has a visitor, and it is Frigga, his wife. And he tells her, yeah, I'm feeling a little low, baby, because I have a task I have to send Balder on. And he may well hate me for it, because it's just about the worst thing I could send him on, but I can't trust anyone else to do it. And what he has to do, he has to go carry a message to Loki. Now, the thing with Odin is, whenever Odin has a task for you, oftentimes the most obvious element of the task is not really what he wants done. There's something more to it. That's the way Odin works. And if you're writing Odin in Thor comics, or frankly, if you're just writing Odin in a story that's based on Norse mythology, you always need to keep that in mind. The sort of trickster attitude, like there's always ulterior motives to what he's doing. Sometimes he's doing something that's for the best for you, even though it's not going to feel real good. Well, at this point also, he is summoned to Heimdall. Or no, I'm sorry. He's telling Frigga about this, that Heimdall had summoned him when he got back from Midgard, and he found Munin injured, spent, but they talked for many, many hours. He still doesn't know what happened to Hugin, and so he is aware that something big is coming, and that's why he needs Balder to go off to speak to Loki. He needs Loki as an ally. Okay. Meanwhile, back on Midgard, Thor is getting that back rub we heard about. And Lorelei, posing as Melody, is doing her thing. How about some golden mead to help you enjoy yourself? Sigurd? He has fallen asleep while she was giving him the back rub. I think all of us have maybe been there at some point in our lives. And she's at first a little angry, then she's kind of like, well, it is actually funny because I fell asleep the first time we met, and this won't be the last time we see each other, my handsome Thor. So she leaves with the mead, but leaves him a letter saying, you're forgiven as long as you let me cook you a meal. So she's bringing Thor into her orbit. Well, off goes Balder in just the classic sort of fantasy type quest stuff you get with Asgard in Marvel Comics. He first has to face the living landslide, which I'm guessing is probably from the old Tales of Asgard portion of the old Thor comics. Not for sure, but I have a feeling it is. He's got to go through the Forbidden Forest where the vines are trying to grab him, and then across this desert, this vast desert. And when he finally gets through it to the castle of Loki up on this crag, he is set upon by demons. By demons. But let us move far afield. In fact, to fields far beyond the fields we know, as they keep saying. A great figure turns from the anvil before him and stretches forth his hand. Lakes of brimstone spring up on every side. And then doom. Notice how this time it's like cut in half. The sword is tempered. Okay, so big things are happening. Indeed. Balder arrives finally, carried in by these demons before Loki. And who is Loki palling around with but Malekith, the dark elf? Now you remember that figure with the whole doom thing summoned the dark elf. Okay, so Malekith is there and he says, but 'tis he and his master who would destroy us all. Loki, you must listen to me. Well, Malekith basically attacks with his demons, and we know that Balder has sworn off of violence. He does not want to commit another act of violence, and he's desperate. Desperate, please, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. They're all chanting, kill him. And he picks up the sword back in New York. Sigurd Jarlson is on the job. His boss is saying, hey, you got to get a hard hat on. Inspectors are going to be around here because they basically have to rebuild this apartment building they were doing that got destroyed by Fafnir. And he's watching him leap off to go get it. And he's like, no normal Joe could do that. He ain't a construction worker. And he was sent here by Cousin Nick, who works for some super secret spy guys. Holy cow, that's it. Jarlson's no ordinary guy. He's here undercover. And the way he moves, it's gotta be. Jarlson is really Spider-Man. Yeah, he's close. He's close. Jarlson knows Spider-Man. Well, we see Balder pick up the blade. I beg of you, cease now and prevent this terrible thing from happening. I'll let you live, I swear it. My mission is with Loki. Thump, 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 thump. They're shooting arrows, spears, whatever at him. First blood. We've drawn first blood. His life is forfeit. No! Kill him for Malekith and the burning flames. Demons, I forswore the sword forever. But billions of innocents will perish if my mission fails. Conscience, I cast thee aside. Death shall be my helpmeet. And Balder the Brave slaughters the demons. Malekith. Well played, Balder. A very dramatic entrance. So we did develop some backbone during our sojourn in hell after all. And Loki, well, Loki's pushing it the way Loki is always pushing it. And he's angry. Look what you forced me to do. And even angry, well, when he attacks Malekith, and Malekith has disappeared, but he hands over the, Odin's message to him, and he goes, says the fate of the universe hangs in the balance. You are a fool, Balder, to think that a message from my stepfather could possibly be a concern to me. What? I have already decided to accept Malekith's offer. After all, I have the blood of giants in my veins, as my stepfather never tires of reminding me. So basically, Loki's already thrown in. He could have just told him that when he got there. But he let all this go on to force Balder to have to kill again, or be killed, because that's what Loki does. And Balder is, well, let's just say enraged. Just a little enraged. He goes, now you destroy what little life I had left. Asgard may yet perish by the sword, but not before I rid the world of the deadliest serpent in her halls. Threaten me not, thou sapless weakling. Thou hast not the mettle for the deed. Liar. Shunk. Whoa. What just happened to Loki? And then we see Karnilla back at her castle, and she hears the coming of Balder. 'Tis Balder, my lady, but his face, look at his face. He has the look of the damned about him. And he is riding at top speed into the desert beyond the land of the Norns, there to die. He no longer wants to live. Transitions is the theme. Big transition for him. Loki. Well, there's Loki reaching around for, here we are. Unbruised too. I must say I never thought he would have the stomach for it. Alas, poor Balder. I knew him, Horatio. A god lacking any sense of humor whatsoever. An excellent jest, well worth the price of a stiff neck for a day or so. After all, the first thing a sorcerer of quality learns is to make himself as difficult to kill as possible. Ah, Balder, thy name is laughter. So Loki puts his head back on. I will note that in the, original tellings of the Ragnarok story, the giants attacking the gods, Heimdall takes Loki's head off, and Loki's head, with his horns, pierces Heimdall's back, and the two of them, therefore, die. So there is a little bit of a mythological thing with Loki losing his head that I think Simonson sort of put in there. A little nod to the original stories. So that, folks, is the mighty Thor, Balder the Brave. So we're honing in on Balder. Balder is a major character in this saga, which is why he gets his own mini-series. And we are going to be covering that issue by issue during this run. So this is Balder being sent on a mission by Odin to Loki. Just something he hates to have to do, because Loki's the one who sent him to hell in the first place. And then Loki basically just mocks him, belittles him, forces him to do that thing which he has forsworn from doing. And Balder loses it, rushes off into the desert there to find his fate. Poor Balder. And we see a little bit more of Lorelei working her wiles on Sigurd Jarlson. So that's Thor number 344 from June of 1984. Let me know what you think of this one in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy these retrospectives, please give it a like, maybe subscribe, maybe share with a friend. That would be very cool. But until next time, God bless everybody. Please be kind to one another. Have a little fun out there. Beware bewitching women bearing golden mead. And I will see you again hopefully soon in Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Bye-bye.